Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Denver Broncos. With that, we're off to the Rocky Mountains. Standing by in Denver, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. A moment ago, through a shower of pyrotechnics, it was the hometown Broncos taking the field as they get set to do battle with the Miami Dolphins. Hi again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden. Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. With me, as always, Charles Davis. And, Charles, we look at a matchup like this. It's really the running backs that may take center stage here today.
And in today's football, they're still valuable, not just as runners, but guys who can catch the ball as well. It's really the number of touches that determines things these days.
Here's Jason Sanders now to get this one started. These folks are ready, and we are underway. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. Orchestrating the offense will be Case Keenum, the 6'1 QB out of the University of Houston.
And what a career he had for the Cougars. How about over 5,000 yards passing in 3 seasons there, each of 3 seasons? And it hasn't stopped because last year in Minnesota, 2017 for the Vikings, over 3,500 yards, went 11-3 as a starter. He still has the magic.
First carry for Devontae Booker. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25. Let's talk about the starting lineup offensively for the Denver Broncos, or let's talk about Devontae Booker.
I always described him as a guy who 8 carries in college, meaning just keep handing it to him, and he got better as the game went on. Had a knee injury his last year at Utah, comes in a little bit older than your average back, but boy, is he skilled and talented. And he emulates Emmitt Smith in one way. Loves to keep the ball in his left hand at all times.
First carry for Royce Freeman. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. A shotgun snap for Keenum. And this is going to be incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. Got to be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. Jakeem Grant back deep for Miami. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. Ryan Tannehill will be orchestrating the offense, the top 10 pick back in 2012.
A terrific athlete, started at wide receiver before becoming the starting quarterback at Texas A&M, and also took his studies pretty seriously as well. He was a biology major at Texas A&M, planned to become an orthopedic surgeon, but being the 8th pick in the NFL draft, that paid just a little bit better.
Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle, come up 1st and 10 at their own 21. Here's Tannehill. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
A first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. He'll wind up getting 11 on that one, and it'll be third down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now the first carry here for Frank Gore. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
On first down, Drake. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. The Pro Bowler Chris Harris is in on the tackle. Time to feature the offensive starters and our first chance to get a look at Parker.
Devontae Parker came out of Louisville with a guy who was known as a mature receiver. Runs routes really well, but the best part of his game, he'll jump over you at the end of a route and go get the football.
Draw play. Tannehill gives to Drake. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 44-yard line. They'll try the air now with Tannehill. And he finds Danny Amendola. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Off play action, Tannehill. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2. Tannehill now running the option to the right side. He can run for it, and he will. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. 5 yards that time, taking it himself, and he has enough for the first.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
They go play action here on first down. Going deep here for Parker. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. Devontae Parker, the intended receiver, and it's second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Tannehill hands to Drake. Oh, eluding the tackle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The tackle by Tremaine Brock. So we've reached the end of a fairly even first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. Charles and I back to Denver after this. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. They're on the march, but facing a third down here. A shotgun snap for Tannehill. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
First foray into the red zone for Miami. 1st and 10 at the 19. Drake off the give from Tannehill. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Here's Tannehill now on second down. On the right side, open is Gesicki. And here he'll get it down to the 7. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
False start, offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still first down.
That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again, 1st and goal. From the gun, here's Tannehill. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Danny Amendola, that was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So an incomplete pass a moment ago, and that leads to second and goal. He'll get it up the middle. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. They'll fake it. Now Tannehill. And that is incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal. From the right hash, this from 33. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game, because anytime you get to the red zone and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. Then he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field, and on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. He finds an opening past the 40. And finally, down at the 41-yard line. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
First down, Keenum. He's got it, the tight end, Jeff Hireman. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Shotgun snap for Keenum. And that's complete to the tight end, Hireman. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
It is hard in zone coverage to stop a curl route because when they see it, They just try and find the open spot and sit down.
Yeah, we always talk about finding the soft spot in the zone. What's the key to doing that? How do you do it?
You have to read what the coverage is. Is it 2 deep? Is it 3 deep? Because then you know where the linebackers are going to drop, what spots on the field they naturally get to, and you find that open space, and then you're in sync with your quarterback. He should be reading the exact same thing, and they put the ball right on you.
We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
Throwing on first down is Keenum. Throw left side. It's reeled in by Hamilton. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Four yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Again, they'll throw with Keenum. Over the middle, he's got Deshaun Hamilton. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
On 1st and 10, Keenum drops it underneath for Booker. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Call it a gain of 5, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. To the air again, Keenum. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. Broncos with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Throwing again is Keenum. Now he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout, and now they get set to line up as we resume action. First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on 2nd and goal. Working from the gun, Keenan. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked off at the 14. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
After the interception, here's Tannehill. It's caught outright, Amendola. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. On 1st and 10, Tannehill. Wide open receiver, complete. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. Tannehill now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Tannehill. Over the middle, it's Amendola. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. A very solid gain of 27. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over, and we'll see what they come up with here on this next play. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He hit his first. Now this one from 48 yards away. The kick by Sanders is good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Man, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome, everybody, to our abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This game's had a little bit of everything thus far, and certainly plenty to look forward to, as the teams are right back out there for the second half. So we'll get right back out there as well, as we'll turn it back over to Brandon Godden.
The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. Jakeem Grant now to return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. The third quarter starts with a run by Gore. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On second down, it's Drake. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Now it's Tannehill. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Here's Matt Hawk now as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out if that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. Now a play fake here on first down. He'll let this thing go for Sanders. Oh, incomplete. The rookie had it and lost it there. And it'll be second down.
Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll hand off to Booker. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Play action. It's Keenum. And he's got Hireman. A really good pickup of 28 yards. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time you're struggling because your passing lanes are clogged. That usually happens when you're throwing the ball underneath. People start to press up on you. Push them deep. Find some space and open things up again. Being aggressive there, I think, will pay off for them.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 44-yard line. Now a handoff. It's Freeman. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Keenum throwing on 2nd. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Keenum going to try and throw on 3rd down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. Third catch for him on this drive alone, and it'll give him a first down.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. 23 yards on the play.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's first and goal. They'll try and run with Booker. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on second and goal here. Out of the gun, Keenum. That's complete right around the 8. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a third and goal.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes third and goal. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start, offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still third down.
A bad time for a false start penalty as they're backed up now for third and goal. Keenum going to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it. And in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And McManus able to put it through. And they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So a decent drive there to start the third quarter. They only salvaged 3 out of it, but they inch a bit closer.
Yeah, but still lots of time to go in this one. That's why you hear that clapping on the sidelines, right? Hey, got some points. As you said, inching their way back in. Time left to go out and get that victory.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. The return man is Grant. And he will be taken down here on the return on what will wind up being the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at their own 23. Here's Tannehill. Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got to lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Now a handoff for Drake. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. Bursts by him near the 35. It's complete to Parker, left side. Tannehill with a hook up to Parker for the Dolphin first.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively, a backbreaker. On 1st down, it's Tannehill. And it's caught here. Amendola. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down. Stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. Tannehill now hitting on 2/3 of his passes, 10 for 15 so far. 1st and 10. On the give, this is Drake. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. As we get late in this one, is altitude a factor for a visiting team in Denver? Is that something that's overplayed?
No, it's real, and I know a lot of the visiting teams like to downplay it because they don't want to get into the heads of their players, but you can't avoid it. As soon as you get to the locker room, you get to the stadium, they always post it in there. Welcome to Denver. Altitude 5,280 feet. The air is rare.
And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. Domata Peko, the one to get him down. And in this situation with the lead, fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Tannehill. It's complete. It's Gore. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
Tannehill now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line, and I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call a timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They've got a first down in field goal range already. Back to the ground, this time with Gore. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Tannehill. And that is incomplete.
After that throw, and it was definitely one that he would love to have back. I wonder what's going through his head. I wonder what kind of mind game he's playing with himself to get himself back on track. Because a lot of guys, that's what they do. They have little triggers that when the mechanics are off or if they make a bad throw, that they go to that place to get themselves back in sync.
Sanders' kick is good. And they continue to lead in the battle of field goals here. It's now 9-3. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
He's back to throw. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Back to throw. And that's complete to the tight end, Hireman. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And able to find Deshaun Hamilton complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a 1st down. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll get it down here to the 43. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion. Back to throw. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. 1st down now, but the clock continues to move. And they'll get up and spike it right at 40 seconds to go. They'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. 3rd and long coming up. Defensively, you pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure. And if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
Now it's Keenum. And this is caught. Demaryius Thomas. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gain of 19 and picking up the 1st. And under 20 seconds now as the spike comes with 18 ticks remaining. And that one incomplete as it stops the clock, reading 18 seconds to go. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still 2nd down.
So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15. Keenum to throw. That's caught. It's Thomas. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in the football game. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes the timeout, and now we're set to get going. Come up on a 1st and goal, and most likely 4-down territory as they need a touchdown and a PAT for the lead. To throw is Keenum. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. 6 seconds now, 5 seconds. Well, Charles, an absolutely thrilling finish there at the end, down to the final play. Got it close to the goal line, but couldn't punch it in.
How much fun was that ending, though, for us?
We were standing up.
I had to. You had to get out of your seat for that one. That close to the goal line? Oh, that was fun.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone, as we say so long from Denver.